On the monument itself, there's two girls not dressed in a regular habit, and they're what we call postulants. And that was the first stage of entering religious life. And the two girls are Sister Laurentia and Sister Patricia, the first two girls to enter the convent who were not from LaGrange, Illinois. So when they entered, Mother Bernard could say, now we're the Sisters of St. Joseph of Eureka. Before that, they were still Sisters of St. Joseph of LaGrange. Well, I think the fact that she was brave enough to enter a fledgling congregation, they were just starting out. There was no guarantee of their future. They were begging most of the time for food, and she had the courage to enter them. Sister Patricia, too. So that took a lot of courage to say, I'm going to join this congregation that you weren't sure was going to make it by tomorrow. Because they had to go out and glean the fields, to get extra food because they were considered poor. For breakfast, they had beans. For lunch, they had beans. For dinner, they had beans. It was pretty challenging times. The other thing that made her a valiant woman was, this was pre-Vatican II days when she entered. And the cliche of the time was, you keep the rule and the rule will keep you, which meant obey, and your superiors were all pretty solemn looking. And you didn't feel too frivolous. You were going to run around and be too crazy around your superiors. So when she was with us, she would smile all the time at us. She was witty. She'd take your arm and she'd tell you a funny story, and she'd hit your arm against yourself and laugh. She made religious life seem human and real, and she was so approachable, and she loved us all. I think the big thing was that she was present to us, and she was always happy in a very tough environment. She was very successful, whatever she did. When she was a superior, she was kind. And in those days, superiors were strict. Really, you kept the rule. And that's what the superiors were supposed to make sure, that you kept the rule. But with her, she'd bring in a little fun with it. You were never afraid in her company. When speaking with the superiors, you could be a little afraid. They were intimidating. And not with Sister Laurentia. Many sisters entered because of her. They met her, they fell in love with her. She carried through in correspondence and whatever else she had to do for them before they entered. And that's the reason they came. She taught the sisters from the very beginning, from entering, and she taught all the way up to my time. I entered in 55, and she taught me in high school. And we loved her to death. She was the Assistant General Superior, so she had a little power. So she would say to us, I'm going to bring you a treat. This is the Latin and algebra class. And she'd bring over a box of seeds candy. And she said to us now in Latin, now this is inter nos, which translates, this is just between us. We couldn't be telling others. I think wherever you find love, kindness, and compassion, you find Sister Laurentia. And that's really what healthcare is about, I think. You have to have love and compassion for your neighbor that you're serving. And that heals. And she healed us in a very strict, a little bit fearful environment. And so she was our healing presence.